Hello, everybody, and welcome to Married to Bravo at a special late night stream. Xchel, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I just put blush on my cheeks, and I didn't really rub it in.
Is that good or bad?
It's not good.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry you're having a bad time.
It's late night, so don't mind me. Look at this bun, though. God, look at this perfection.
Is that good or bad?
That's good. That is good, Xchel.
That's a good bun.
That is some good bun, right? Some
That's
good,
bun,
you guys. Put some good bun in the chat for this good bun. I'm waiting to get my hair done, so I got a lot of buns.
When are you going to get your hair done?
I don't know. I have to make a appointment, so we'll talk all about it. But welcome, guys. Welcome to Married to Bravo on this special late night live stream. It's Joleen and Xchel, your favorite married couple who cover all things Real Housewives of Miami season 4. We're going to be breaking down season 4 episode 6, Flirting with Faena.
Faena is that hotel they stayed at. That place is beautiful.
It was beautiful. Was that in Miami?
Yeah. Do you know how much she paid for that per night?
$5,000.
No, $50,000.
No, shut your face.
That's what she said. It was $50,000 a night.
How did I miss that part?
You don't remember that part? That's crazy.
No. Are you kidding?
No, I'm being honest.
Oh my gosh, I had no idea. Hey guys, everyone joining us in the chat.
It's a 2-story. It's a 2-story suite. Isn't that crazy?
$50,000 a night? Was it right on the water? Was I not watching the right episode?
Did you see the view?
I did. But not $50,000 a night worthy. I mean, I feel like they weren't even there long enough to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Or at least the edit didn't show us that they were there long enough.
I mean, if I get that kind of place, I'm not going anywhere. I'm getting room service. I'm not leaving. I'm not spending that much money.
Right? That's how I feel.
I'm gonna get a late checkout, and I'm gonna get there as soon as they let me check it.
True, though. I mean, me and Xchel were just looking at going to Vegas and getting a suite, like a penthouse suite, and we thought we were like, dang, those are like $1,500 to $2,000 a night. I thought that was expensive, but $50,000. I guess we're getting a deal.
Well, there's this 2-story. The ones in Vegas that are like that much are just like.
They have one at Caesar's Palace that's 2-story. And I think it's like $5,000 a night or something.
That's so much money. Jesus.
Maybe $3,000, depending on what time of year. But the ones I were looking at was at the Mirage, and then also at the Cosmopolitan. The Cosmopolitan, the inside of them, they're not fantastic, but they have wraparound patios.
Oh, patios.
You can go outside.
No, thank you. I'll stay inside. I paid for the inside. I can go outside downstairs.
A lot of them you can, or I think the Cosmo one, you can see the water show from the Bellagio.
Which one's the Rio? Is the Rio the one where the pool's outside?
No. Oh, wait. All Suites is the Rio. No, we're talking about the Palm.
Is it the Palm?
Yeah, I looked that one up too.
Because that was on Real World, right?
Yes, that was on Real World. I always wanted to stay there. They have ones with basketball courts and like pools that jut out, like infinity pools. But that's really expensive. We're gonna really have to save our money, Xchel.
I'm not letting us spend our money on $5,000. That's just too crazy.
Coffee Buzz, I agree. If I was married to Lenny, I'd be treating myself to everything. I'd be treating myself to the whole damn bank account. Okay.
You would?
Lenny. We're soulmates, right? Right? Yeah, we still have it, right? We still have that spark, right? Yeah.
Let me eat my chicken. Yeah, whatever. I just want to.
Yeah, and then he's let me emotionally cheat on you. Hold on. So, how's your day going, Xchel?
It's okay. I don't feel too hot, which is okay. But what are you gonna do?
You don't feel too hot. You feel sick?
No, I just feel itchy all over. I hate it. I hate
I'm
that
sorry.
feeling. You know, like when you first start working out for like a long time and then you just get itchy all over. It's like that feeling, but just
I've been
like
feeling
in my
itchy
chest
too.
and tummy. So I just don't feel good because of that.
I'm sorry.
And it's okay. It's not your fault. I just think that it's just what it is. What it is, you know.
We had a big day though.
We did.
Yeah. We took all of my Christmas decorations except for that tree behind you.
We filled up a whole car with Christmas decorations, and I was like, Joleen, we can't.
You guys, put it in the chat if you think that's too much Christmas decorations. I don't think it's too much Christmas decorations. We put it in our storage unit.
Yeah, but it was way too much. It's a whole car full of just Christmas stuff.
I mean, I have 3 trees. So I did take down 2 trees, but kept that black one up in the office. And then I have all my decorations, ornaments, all that. I don't think feel a car full of Christmas decorations. Let us know in the chat what you guys think. I don't think that's too much.
I think that's too much for 2 people. I would understand like a family of 5 or 4,
Tilly,
maybe.
we have a 3. We have a cat.
No, Tilly doesn't have any ornaments. She has 1. That's it.
No, she has
her, and your
Tilly
mom
has
bought it for her.
ornaments.
Yeah, she has
She
1.
has multiple ones.
She has 1 that your mom bought for her, and it's a picture of her in a sweater.
And she also has a stick one Nana bought for her with a little hat on it.
No, that one wasn't for Tilly.
And she spelled it Tillie, and I go, "Who's that?" She goes, "Tilly," and I go, "Tilly is Tilly."
You should just rename Tilly to Tilleen.
Tilleen, Eileen, Joleen, Tilleen. Coffee Bus says I have 6 totes and 2 large trees and 3 smaller trees. See?
What's a tote?
You know, like the little box things I have. You know, like those. I think like those plastic ones.
Coffee Buzz. How big's your family? That's the real question right there. 2 large trees, 3 small trees. How big's that?
We're a family of 3 or 2.5, depending how you feel about cats. I feel like she's 2 people.
We're a family of 2.
What about Tilly? She just gets left out. She loves sleeping under the trees.
Tilly is 1 or us.
Shannon Van has 2 bins, but she's also Canadian, living in a big city.
Yeah.
So she is just more, you know, she's just better about that stuff.
Oh, got it.
Like if we were still living in Los Angeles, I wouldn't have as much stuff.
Yeah, you got to get rid of it. This could be a sad day, but you're going to have to get rid of stuff.
See, 2 adults, 1 kiddo, 1 cat.
That 3, that's okay. 1 tree per person. We have
4.
3
You got to count the cat. You love Tilly. You're obsessed with her. You hold her like a baby and you look at her and kiss her. So don't play cool on her.
Yeah, but people don't need stuff to show love. You can just show love by touching and holding, you know. You don't need to buy a bunch of stuff. I feel like I'm Lenny right now. Like, where's all our money?
I'll never be Lenny.
Where did this Christmas tree ornament come from?
But then at Christmas, you walk around the house and you go, "You make it so nice, Joleen. I love it."
But I have to say that as a husband. I can't be like, "Man, this looks like shit." You know, that'd be a horrible husband thing to do. Xchel. I have to be like, "Wow, great job. I really love it. This is awesome."
Don't be comedian, Xchel. Be real, Xchel. You do love it.
I have to sleep next to this tree and that tree. This is so nice. And we have ornaments for all of it. Yay.
We have like 8 bins and a live and fake tree. See, this is just if you are
Elaine, how many people do you have in your family?
Doesn't matter.
It does matter. There needs to be a specific tree to person ratio and ornament to person ratio.
No, Atharella broke it down perfectly. You need 2 bins per tree. That's correct. Okay, I mean, I probably have 3 bins per tree.
You've got at least 4 bins per tree. And we're keeping
I have a lot of picks.
We're keeping those boxes that Lucy and Frankie drew on. And when I opened it, there was nothing in there. And I don't think that they're going to remember.
There's ornaments in there.
Well, why don't you use those ornaments and put them in the ornament box? Like, we don't have to keep the stuff that they painted.
Oh, because I wanted to keep those bins because they're good memories. I said, would you guys paint me a Christmas box that I can use to put my Christmas stuff in? And they said, okay. Remember we were outside and you helped them?
Can we just take a photo of them? And then wherever it happens. You know what I'm saying?
No, we can't. Diana Lee says, I have 2 58-gallon totes and a knapsack and a few boxes. See? 58-gallon. No, that's a nice size.
That's different, though, because if you're by yourself, then you're packing those things away. Right now, it's me and Joleen, and she buys it, and then I'm packing it away.
Elaine has like
See,
a
4
perfect life. Look
kids,
at 4 kids,
2
1 dog, 5 cats.
so that's 6 people, 1
Perfect.
dog, 5 cats. That's totally like, I get your ratio. It's there. Good for you. That's awesome. We have too many tree to person ratio here at the house.
I didn't even buy any wrapping paper after Christmas like I normally do.
Oh, after Christmas.
Nope, I didn't. So I used my wrapping paper carrier because I have holders for everything, organized tree bags with wheels. I have the big totes. I have the, plastic bins.
What's up with that?
And
what's up with
the
the
wrapping
ladies
stuff.
buying all the like Christmas
Not
stuff
just
after
ladies.
Christmas?
Some men do it too. A lot of men.
Okay. I don't.
Yeah, I know. You're just one dude though.
But like, what's up with that? Why do people buy the
What's
Christmas
up with that?
after Christmas? I don't
What
get
are you,
it.
Jerry Seinfeld? What's the deal with
No,
Christmas
you
stuff?
took me Christmas shopping after Christmas, and I want to know why. Why is that so important to you?
You guys explain to my husband why that's a big deal. I have Xchel go with me, and then this year we got in a little tiff at TJ Maxx because I was just like putting everything. He's like, "Well, how much?" Xchel always wants to talk budget. How much are we spending? And I think if it's a deal, it's a deal. I don't want to, obsess over prices. I just want to get all the best deals.
Yeah, but that deal isn't going to pay for my retirement in the future. You're spending that money now.
So I took Xchel with me, and me and Nana. Well, for me, it's a tradition. My grandma did it with my mom and me. Her grandma did it. Me and my mom did it with my aunties. We would go. We used to do Black Friday back in the day, but I wasn't a big fan of Black Friday because it's too crazy and people are very rude. But that day after Christmas, you can go get the deals on all the holiday stuff for the next year. There's just something so exhilarating about it. I'm sweating right now thinking about it. I'm so excited. But I brought Xchel, and it was fun for you for like 10 minutes. But then how many stores? We went to like 6 stores.
It was fun until you ignored the budget. Then it was not fun at all.
Danielle says, "Oh no, I have a storage unit just for Christmas." Xchel, you have to keep everything kids make. You do, because one day Frankie and Lucy are going to be older and they're going to not want nothing to do with us, and then they'll come back around in like their 20s. But there's going to be a teenage time where they're just like, "Okay, Auntie, I'll call you later." Right now, I want everything so I can hold it and cry when they're too cool for me, and then when they come back, go, "Look, I saved this. This was yours when you were 4 and 7." And I'm obsessed.
But I could, like, we could throw it away today, and then when they want that stuff back, you tell me, and then I'll just like slap some paint on a box, and then you can show it to them, because they're not going to remember the specific box that they made. They're just going to be like, "Oh, you made this when you were a kid." And you're like, "Oh my god, look at what I made when I was a kid." It has Xchel written all over it, but it looks so good.
You're going to recreate their childhood crafts.
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
Hey, Renee. Yes, it's the sales. Oh my god, the sales are like, oh, don't forget to hit the like on the video, you guys.
Sales drain your bank account. They drain them. There's no reason to participate in sales if your bank account is gone.
No, it's just so worth it though. It's like you work hard for your Christmas money. She works hard for her Christmas money. So hard for her Christmas money. Then after Christmas, I cut up the tree to say, oh, Coffee Buzz, what a nice tradition. What do you live in, like a really cute Christmas novel? Oh my gosh. Simmer it with cinnamon on the stove. My trees obviously are artificial, so I can't really like, I've thought about it.
It smells like burnt plastic.
It smells like plastic. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, that's not happening.
Cider
but today
smells good when we did it with apples and cinnamon sticks and allspice.
When we did it in the crock pot?
When I made it in a pot,
yeah. You made it in the crock pot, didn't you?
I think so.
I just added myself that I did it too.
Yeah, you always do. If I do something, we did it. I get it.
If I was there and I enjoyed it, it's a part of me.
We did it. Yeah.
If you don't buy things on sale, thank you. Yes, you lose money. That's just logic. Thank you. That is logic.
But if you have to store it somewhere, aren't you spending more money in order to store it? If you have so much stuff that it doesn't fit in your house, then you have to spend an extra X amount of money. Doesn't that take away from the sale? Because you need a place to store it. So that's spending more money.
No, I think that's just like...
That's the logic to me, is that you don't... So like every time you buy something, it takes up space, right? Mm-hmm. And when you overbuy something and you have no space, then you have to buy more space in order to store it. Mm-hmm. So you're spending more money anyway. Mm-hmm. And then this way, the sale really doesn't count, because in the end, you just spent, let's say your storage unit is $200 for 12 months, maybe 10 if you're lucky because you want to take it out early. That's $2,000.
What a deal.
That's
To all I heard is you're paying to house your happiness. Okay. That one time a year where it's so damn magical.
You know what provides happiness is that you can afford the house. That's the happiness right there.
Yes, and we will get there. D. Marie says you're saving money for next year. Thank you. But
what happens?
That's a good
and
point.
This happened to us today. What happens when you overbuy in the sale? And I'm like, oh, we didn't need that. You're just storing the flat box packaged.
Oh, because I didn't use one of the ornaments boxes.
So you just spent that money, and there was no reason to spend that money.
No.
Now you're just storing,
good deal.
Now you're just storing empty boxes.
It was but next year I'll use it because it was such a good deal. This year, I just kind of it has drawers that you pull out.
You won't use it next year, and I'll tell you why. Can I explain as a husband? This is I think what will happen. I think you'll forget about it. We will start storing stuff away that you bought for sales next Christmas in the storage unit. And then we'll be like, oh, look, here's that empty box. You said you're going to use, but you never did. But you already have 2 more empty boxes that you say you're going to use the next year. Like, I think that'll happen.
No, I think what's going to happen is next year I'm going to go, thank God I bought this box. And thank God I can now have my ornaments even more organized. So the old box I use that's less organized, then I get rid of and donate to someone in need of organizational materials for Christmas.
I think that stuff is going to be the death of me. Like, I'm going to be in the storage unit, and because it's packed so high with all your stuff,
hoarders,
it's going to fall
my
on top of me one time, and I'm going to be stuck there for at least 6 to 8 hours thinking about, man, I told her this is way too much.
Very dramatic. Today, I saw you stack the boxes too high, and I said, you might want to pull them down because you were talking about earthquakes.
The only time you wanted to pull them down is like, we have too much stuff, kitty. It's going to fall and it's going to break. And then you're like, we got to redo this. We got to find a new place for it.
Like, we Tetris that storage unit, though. It's looking good.
We should have said anything.
It's looking damn good, you guys. It's looking damn good. Well, that was our day. We had the day off, Martin Luther King Day, you guys. Happy Martin Luther King Day to everybody and remembering the legacy of a great man and a lot of good lives on YouTube.
Can I share a cool MLK moment?
I would love that.
When you go to the Washington, D.C., specifically Lincoln Memorial, is that what it's called? The specific building. Anyways,
the High Memorial, the
one where he was sitting in the big chair, right?
Oh, the Lincoln. Okay, yes, we went.
You know what I'm talking about? Where it's in front of the, I think it's called like the Infinity Pond or something.
Yeah, we took pictures in front of it. Let me pull it up.
Anyways, what's really cool about that is you can actually find where Martin Luther King Jr. gave his "I Have a Dream" speech. And it's really powerful. It's really cool. It's basically along the stairs, somewhere in the middle. Like if you get to the top, you start looking down, walk down the middle of that monument, and you can actually see like a little like plaque that says Martin Luther King Jr. stood here during the "I Have a Dream" speech. And what was really cool is when I went there, like I was like, I started to remember like the actual speech, but I didn't know it was there specifically. And then I was looking at photos and I was like, oh man, it's like right around here. And then when I found it, like 3 other people were looking for it at the same time too. And then we all kind of looked at it and we're like, this is pretty cool. This is history. So if you're ever in Washington, D.C. and you're at the Lincoln Memorial, please look for it. It's such a cool spot because like you can really envision yourself standing like right next to Martin Luther King Jr. and then looking out and then seeing like all the people that must have been there while he was giving the speech. So totally cool, totally rad. Highly recommend that you go there. That was
amazing. I never thought that I would see that or get to stand there or get to like just bear witness to like looking out at, that because it's, I mean, obviously it's the most iconic.
And what you don't know, well, maybe not a lot of people know, but like stand-up comics, it's like when you look out at a sea of faces, it's really cool, but it's really deep. And so you kind of lose track. But the way that an audience reacts is kind of like when you're standing in front of the ocean. emotions and reaction comes in waves. So when we're telling jokes, I know this happened at the Tempe Improv for Joleen and I. When you tell a joke to 600 people, it's like a wave of laughs coming at you. And it's so cool because you actually have to stop a little bit longer because you get that residual sound at the end and you're like, I think I can keep going before you because you have to keep the attention of some people. So
it doesn't hit you right away.
To imagine what like MLK, receiving those waves of adulation while he's giving the speech is kind of it gives me goose pimples, as Joleen would call them. So
it is goose pimples. It's amazing. I'm trying to think if I have I was looking to see if I have a picture. So I have a picture with the Washington Monument in the back.
You want me to find a photo? I'll put it in the private chat.
Yeah, put a photo up. So if someone is in Washington or if you've never been to DC, because that was my first time in DC, and we did all the stuff because we wanted to see all the most important monuments and just to know that all those museums and stuff are free. And now we need to go back since your best friend lives out there and Busy Blue lives out there. So I feel like we gotta make the trip back.
I think. Oh, we also went to that pizza place where they thought the kids were in the basement.
Where all the Q people are or talk about, and it's like,
it's actually really good pizza. So whatever they're doing there, if it's kids in the basement, no, I'm just joking.
There's not.
There's not. It's the reason that they chose that place. My friend was my friend's wife works at a consulate there, and he was telling us the whole backstory. And the reason they chose that pizza place was because that's where all the Democrats. Yeah, that's where all the Democrats have their fundraisers. It's like a famous pizza place that all the politicians go to. So totally recommend it. And Joleen, I'm going to put the link in the private chat. There you go.
Okay.
This is a bunch of pictures. You could pick out one and you'll see.
Okay. Let me pull that up. Let's see.
Yeah, but that pizza place is really good. They have the way that they cook it is what is that Italian style, Napoli style? Anyways, it's domed ovens, right? And then the crust is actually blackened because of the flame is so high, which gives it a crust, which gives it a crunch to it. And it's fresh mozzarella, fresh toppings, very delicious. Highly recommend that if you're out there to go. And then 2 doors down from that pizza place, there's actually an ice cream place. So if you like pizza and ice cream, please make a stop there. It'll be delicious.
And there's also a bookstore there that we went to. Remember that little bookstore?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So here's on the ground, you'll see this when you're at the Lincoln Memorial, and it says, "I have a dream," and Martin Luther King Jr., and then it has the date. And so you can go there and it's really amazing. Let me see.
It's right on the steps. It's on the steps if you're looking for it.
Yes, on the stairs. So if you look you can see the Washington Monument as he did as he stood there. And let me just pull this picture up here and let me stop sharing this. Come on, StreamYard, work with me. And as you can see right here, so it's just amazing to sit there and you look out and it's something that it's one of those moments in life where you see something and it's inexplainable. I feel like how.
And then I want to say the name correctly. I might pronounce it wrong and you correct me. Renee, is that Renee Adrian Sierra?
Yep.
So he said that he got to do the improv with A.D. Bryant there at the Tempe Improv. Ooh. Very cool. But he also said if we both wore Chucks. Now, I wouldn't step on it. That's just me. I'm like an emotional hoarder. If something means something or I have a memory associated with it, I'm more likely to keep that. When Joleen first met me, I had this sticker and it was of the
I knew you were going to bring that up. I knew it.
I had it on my sweater.
It was Ep6 Fitzgerald,
museum
on or something.
Yeah, as the museum, and I had the sticker on for 2 months. And then as soon as I started dating Joleen, she was like, "Well, we're not going to need that."
It was on there for a long time. I'm like, we have to wash your sweatshirt because clearly you haven't washed it if you still have the sticker on it.
Yeah, but it's not I'm sweating in it. You could wash it, but why? I only wear it when it's cold. I'm not sweating. So
you think we're ever gonna get past that, or is that gonna be something that haunts us?
no,
Our
it'll be
relationship
haunting
for the
us.
rest of
It'll be
our
the last
life?
thing I think about when I die and you're holding me.
Ow! Oh my God. I
Be
hope
like,
not.
if you have that sticker, I'd stay alive.
I'd still be alive if you wouldn't have ripped that sticker off my sweatshirt. I also when I was in Atlanta, when you were in Atlanta, did you see I'm gonna pull up my Instagram here.
I didn't go to MLK's house. I went to the place where they wrote Casablanca, which is right off of the main strip downtown, next to the federal IRS building. So.
Oh, well, I went to the museum that's there. And then I also went to, this is his birth home.
I didn't go
So
there. Yeah.
it was so cool to see. Obviously, in that whole area of Atlanta is really beautiful and cool. And they kept like the church and all kinds of things that are just great to be able to see now so many years later. So great monuments and such. I thought I had another, going through all my old pictures.
So crazy. Life is so different.
I know, like going through pictures and being like, oh, we used to do stuff. I went on tour before the pandemic, you know?
I was a comedian and now I'm in healthcare. It's so crazy.
Right? It's so crazy. And seeing all your comedy friends, like this was in Nashville. These pictures are all Nashville.
Oh, is that when you went on your tour?
Yeah, so that was me and Val's tour, our 6 Ad tour.
And then there's the closet with jackets in it, and that's what that is.
Yes. And so I did a house show, a basement show, and they had this here's the basement. Wait, no, that's not the basement. That's a different show. Somewhere is a basement, right? And they had a closet, and I just started taking clothes out because they were like, sure. And I was like, all right, I'll play dress up before I go on stage. And it was so cool. I mean, this is how people used to crowd in places like that. Like, look at us.
Oh my God. That's how COVID spread.
That's at Star Bar in Atlanta. Atlanta is like the best freaking comedy scene. I don't care what anyone says. Shout out to Deddy. Dedrick, I was just sharing his TikToks. He's like got 6,000 or something followers on the TikTok. He's making hilarious TikToks. He made one about canceling Rent because Rent is racist, said a racial slur, right? Rent said a homophobic slur. He was like doing this whole bit. It was so funny.
Good for them. I like to see when people that we did it with, when they like make it or succeed in some way. Because it's like, oh man, I remember when they were XYZ. That was at Amber's wedding.
I know. Everything is like, I haven't even talked about
I remember Don't Be a Dick. You're doing that?
I remember when I did Don't Be a Dick videos. I used to love doing those. I don't think anyone watched them.
That was like your YouTube start right around you started YouTube.
That was kind of around when I started, wasn't it?
Because Big Brother was over, and so you started doing different things.
And I miss my pink hair. Look at Nana looking like Kris Jenner. Look at this Nana. Oh my God, Nana. With her dark hair.
Oh, so crazy.
That's Nana and her mom.
Aww.
Nana and Lucy.
Look at Lucy. She's so cute.
That's Frankie and Nana. There's me and Nana in San Francisco. I used to have this thing where I thought it was so funny to like cover up
the tour with your parents.
Yes, I love going on vacation with my parents, and then we go on cheesy tours. There's you and Nana. Oh my God. There's Nana.
Nana.
Me and Nana at Disney. Oh my gosh, I haven't went this deep in my Insta for a while, but we've had so much fun together.
We better start doing the episode because we're 30 minutes in, and I have 30 more minutes before I'm out of here.
Okay. There's Lucy's first movie. Oh, no, I'm loving this. Okay, I'll stop, guys. I'll stop being a weirdo. Okay. Remember when we did our first web series, Bipolar Becky? Okay.
All right. You can waste the time you want, but my camera's going off 1 hour.
Oh, yeah. If Xchel leaves, just know that he gave us his best, and that's all that's happening.
I can only give an hour on this thing, and then I get antsy, and I'm like, I gotta go.
Go. All right, let's dive in. Okay, so we have the Real Housewives of Miami. Thank you guys. 29 minutes and 26 seconds. I better put a timestamp on that when we actually start the review. 29:33. Okay.
30 seconds.
So we have season 4, episode 6, Flirting at Faena. So we start the episode and we are okay. So there's the recap. I was gonna do screenshots, and then I was just like, yeah.
Whoa.
Well, we had a double date. We had our first Nicole's husband, and Martina and Julia double date, and they took a private jet.
Nicole's husband has a name and it's on the screen.
Anthony, or her partner. Was he flying?
Miss Andrea is real. Oh my God.
Don't even start on Miss Andrea. Oh my God, you're hilarious. Okay. Oh, yeah. You're gonna kill me tonight with this stuff. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the Nicole's, whatever her dude's name is, Anthony, her partner, because she doesn't want to get married. Maybe she wants to get married, don't want to get married. They take a private jet to the West, to the Keys, right? Do they say Key West or Keys?
They went to New Orleans.
No, she said sometimes on Saturdays before children, they would go, let's go to New Orleans for brunch. But this restaurant was in Key West.
Oh, I thought the restaurant was in New Orleans. My fault.
That's what as far as I know, she said they used to do that as a couple before they had a kid.
Cool. So, I kind of want to get my pilot's license just to do that. That'd be so fun.
I don't want to go on small planes like that. No, thank you. So this guy, whatever his name is.
Wherever you want. Like, if I had a private jet, I'd be like, hey, babe, do you want to fly to Florida? Or do you want to go see Lucy in Minnesota? Like, you go wherever you want.
I'd be like, sure. What is Delta saying? What's Delta saying? No, those
Delta saying, pay your own way.
Those main ones are the ones that crash. I can't. I don't like it.
Well, I guess I'll just go by myself.
Well, we don't even have
a Greyhound because she didn't want to leave the floor.
We barely got Delta money, so we don't have to worry about private jets. Okay, so Anthony and them, and they talk, and it seems like Anthony and Martina are really getting along. Martina's like, I'm not one of the girls. And then Julia and Nicole have developed a pretty good relationship. Everyone seems to be kind of like crushing on Julia this episode.
Yeah,
and they
that's true.
And they talk. And then she talks about her daughter. Her 15-year-old daughter's leaving to go to her third year of high
just
school.
Like her. It's so crazy.
She does. And then Julia's like crying in her plant about her leaving. And her daughter's like, Mom, you're being a total freak. And she's like, wait till you have kids. You'll see what it's like.
Yeah.
So they just talk and look, I didn't notice this. Look at the girl got booty shorts. Hey, booty. Hey, butt cheeks. Look
booty shorts used to be so big like 3 years ago. I remember in LA, everybody was
showing
off the bottom cheek. It was really interesting. And you were like, are you looking? And I was like, I can't look. That's where poop comes from. I just can't. Weird. I never understood booty shorts like that.
You weirdo. Jesco said you read that Nicole and Anthony, Mr. Misandry, is they're engaged.
Oh wow!
Congrats!
Way to go, buddies! Yay! They should be. If you have a kid and you own a home together, just get married already.
Let's get married. What's the big deal? I understand some people don't like the institution of marriage. If they're both like heavily against it, fine. But they're not both heavily against
the institution of marriage. Like, what do you mean by that? Like, when we got married, I don't see no institution of marriage. I just see sometimes you boss me around, sometimes I boss you around. That's just how relationships work. You know?
And we get to have sleepovers every night. It's pretty
fun. That was the best when I was like, when I was going out at night doing shows and stuff, you're like, this wasn't supposed to be marriage. I thought marriage was supposed to be having sleepovers. And sometimes you get to watch movies and make fun of them.
Yeah, when you were so busy at a point in Los Angeles where you were just going out all the time. You had stuff every night. And I was like, we need to make time for our relationship too.
Yeah.
We need to have sleepover time. So Lisa is showing us that she is just Mr. Mommy. She's Mrs. Mommy.
Well, her nanny just left. And she was trying to get a new nanny, but right now it's just her and the two kids.
Oh, how does she do it? 2 kids. No one does that. No.
Not with getting ready that much on the face.
No way.
She's pissed. She can't spend another hour doing it.
Like, this is bullshit. She after this event, it was so bad. She needed a girls' weekend. She needed to go to Faena.
And not even like a small one. She was like, I'm going all-star, 50,000 a night.
Yep. She was like, that's it. These kids. I love the son. He's just like, I feel like that would be me. Can I have chicken fingers? Chicken fingers. Then they had multiple desserts.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the best idea, but he got a sugar rush for sure. I've always wanted to go to this sugar place. I've seen a lot of housewives go, and they have fun drinks and fun desserts and stuff. Yeah. But I don't think we have. I don't know. Are there any in California? I feel like there would be one in Los Angeles, but I've never
I
seen
feel
it.
like as soon as we entered, I would get diabetes, and if I ate something, we would have to cut my leg off by the time I was done. So
Worth it. Hashtag worth it.
the thing is, like, she's not eating all that stuff. That's for sure. She probably just got this for the kids, and then
yes.
that's it.
Yeah,
That's
and
too much sugar for the kids, though. That's too much sugar.
Well, I think if they just have a little bit, it's fine. And if it's just occasionally, like,
Girl, look at that milkshake. That is not just a little bit.
They
Look at
didn't
that.
finish it. They were just like drinking a little bit, and then she's like, "Okay, we're done now."
You
Like,
think
this
that,
can't
but the
finish
kid
that.
was running around like he finished 5 of those things.
I don't think
know.
he finished it.
I think as parents, you have to be like, only the grandparents can like overly like sugar your kids, because as a parent, you have to be more like, you have to be like, oh, you have to eat this food. I'm sorry, buddy, because it's like you have to build those habits with them early.
Once
or
in
else
a while, you can't go to the sugar restaurant and go crazy.
If we have a big celebration, you got straight A's, you finished the season. I'm so proud of you. You stuck to something and you finished it. Heck yeah, let's go have
Not just because I love you. I love you. Let's go have some sugar.
Well, the thing is, you really teach the kids then, like, all right, cool, we get sugar all the time. And like, you can't, it has to be a special treat or else they're going to abuse it as they get older,
Yeah. Aaron says, oh my gosh, Lisa's exhaustion was ridiculous. I raised 4 sons and 2 nieces, worked full-time and had 0 net. Yeah.
Whoa.
I think Lisa's
Aaron's the real housewife.
Aaron's the real deal. Yes.
Aaron.
But I think some of these housewives, they lost any concept of reality a long time ago.
Yeah, I noticed as there's like a Voss water bottle next to all this candy. Look at that. You're like, maybe they can have a little candy. And I'm all like, that is not a little candy. That is like a mountain of diabetes right there.
That would be so
That has a milkshake next to a cupcake. Look at that.
I'd be sneaking the kids out to sugar, being like, don't tell dad.
No.
Come on.
Oh no. I wouldn't be a tough dad. I would try to instill
healthy eating habits, but you have to have fun too.
Yes, but earned fun. They can't just have fun all the time. Like, I want to show my kids that, like, hey, if you earned it, yeah, let's go, let's do this. But if you also like, you're not doing too well in school, and I'm doing everything I can to help you.
You're already saying that our fictitious children are already not doing well in school. Where did we go wrong with our fake kids that they're already doing so bad?
We wanted to adopt 3, because we were talking about that last night, and I was like, I could only do 2.
I told you I want to adopt 3 kids,
and I said, never gonna change, and I want never gonna be 3.
But here's
never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never gonna get it,
never get it. Well,
never get it.
Listen, In Vogue. A girl I went to high school with. It was so amazing. She had 2 of her own children, and she had them pretty young. And then she went on to adopt three siblings once her kids were like older and teenagers. And I think that ever since I heard her story, it was so great, because other people I've talked to about adoption, they have said that it tends to be harder to get adopted when they come like as a package, as like siblings. So she had 3 siblings that she adopted, and they're just the cutest family now. And I saw that and I was like, I don't want to split siblings up. What if there's 3, Xchel? We have to take all 3.
And I say, show me more with 2 kids. Thank you.
No. All right. So we have this, and she's so stressed. So she's like, oh my God, I need help.
I think she did that because she really wanted to show her husband that she doesn't do nothing. She does something. And I think that with her, she's very fortunate that she has a nanny to take care of 1, because they have 2, which is plenty for new parents. 2 is plenty.
He is perfect.
Because it seems like the little boy went with the nanny, and then she would take care of the little girl. So.
Well, yeah, she probably did do that. Like, look, Lenny. Now, I love Marisol, Alexia. They're meeting up. They both have these adorable outfits. They're celebrating Free Britney. But this is what it's called, Xchel, when a woman, her tracks are showing. So she has like extensions in her hair here, like glued on. Or so do you see like where her hair here is pulled up?
You put your mouse over it?
I can't when I share on my Chrome. It doesn't show for some reason.
It doesn't show.
Do you know right by the scalp?
Those lines?
Yes.
Like, got it.
So those are her tracks are showing, her extensions are showing. So Marisol, we love you, but pull up a little of your real hair from underneath up with it. But that's what I would do if I had extensions, which I'd like to get extensions one day and try it out. I would probably be showing my tracks all the time because I am not.
Is my track showing right now? Are my tracks showing?
Your tracks are showing all the time, Xchel.
What if I was like, oh no, and then I pulled up and it was just all bald?
See, you can see too here again.
Yeah,
I
she's
thought
gonna
they looked.
kill the camera people.
Look at right here.
Look at her hair. It's like, you're fired after this.
Poor Marisol. She looked so cute. I love her little style. So her and Alexia are meeting and they're talking about the wedding. Can I tell you that I am really, really tired of housewives obsessing about weddings and stressing, especially when it's not even your first one. I get this is the one that counts because the other one went to jail and the other one had a boyfriend. So, was, secretly gay the whole time. But it's like, Alexia, you're already giving us so much good stuff. We don't need all this drama around the wedding. I'm just not entertained by it. How about you?
I'm not either, but I think that that's what she picked. I think each housewife picks a thing that they have to achieve by the end of the season, whether they do
like
or
a
don't.
goal.
And I think that, this is what she picked at first, but then as she started filming, she started being more open and candid about her real life. And then that's where like the real good stuff is at. Because like at the end of the episode, we found out she lost her place, but then it felt like she was like fake acting in the sense of like, why is everything happening to me? But I'm pretty sure like that was just part of the deal. It's like,
and I think it's compounding with her mother's sickness and with her son, the issues with her sons and their the turbulence between the relationship with her soon-to-be husband and her son. But I think adding a wedding and during a pandemic is just crazy stress you don't need. We saw it with Cynthia Bailey on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, where I was just like, Cynthia, what are you doing? Like in the height of the pandemic, she was throwing a big old wedding. And I'm like, that was just not necessary.
Well, I think also, okay, so for her, and I'm going to say that if you were planning a wedding, right, and it was going to be 2020 in September, and then the pandemic came, like part of me is thinking like, oh, I want to go back to that normalcy that we used to have. This is like 2 years later, so now it's all like, it's the pandemic. It's like, why would you even plan on that? Just go get married privately, have your best friends there, and then throw a party afterwards. Like, at a cool place, and don't make it like a big thing where people have to come. Just make it a big party.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just a lot to ask in a pannekuchen, So she's really stressed out about it. And if she doesn't do it soon, she's afraid that new boyfriend and State Farm, I don't know why State Farm won't let me skip ahead. Damn you, State Farm. Okay, I got to fast forward this part. He might just make her go to
the We're not sponsored by State Farm, so don't buy insurance from them, please.
Okay. Like a good neighbor, State Farm ain't there. Actually, we are sponsored by them, so contact them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, please contact them and tell them Joleen sent you.
You big weirdos.
You weirdos.
Oh my gosh. So it's just 21 seconds. So they're talking about the wedding and she's worried about it. And she has actually found a new venue, Alexia has, that she's going to send to Gertie. And she's like, I love this area. And you guys, this is your time right now. Smash that like if you haven't already. Let's get a like goal of getting to 100 likes by the end of this live. Get there, get there. Okay. Back to the story. So Alexia sees this place and sends it to Gertie, right? And then she's like,
so she actually chose a place. She's been very like, she hasn't been choosing places. So she's like, I love it. This isn't it. I don't think. Do you think this?
It's not. No. I just really like this. Like, isn't this gorgeous?
I've never been to Miami. Have you?
No, I've been to Orlando.
Yeah.
Which Disney I don't think is like Miami. I've been to somewhere else in Florida. Yeah.
When you say somewhere else, are you trying to hide where you went or you just don't remember?
I don't remember.
Got it. Okay.
I was young. I don't think I've been to Florida in my adult years. Have I?
No. What was that place you went to see the Ani concert? Was that Chicago?
Pittsburgh. Very different from Florida. Okay. So we see Gertie and Gertie is talking about her brother and the loss of her brother.
About this. It says on the brother thing that they died in 2010, but the way she talked about it, I felt was very recent. Was that the birthday?
Well, it was when the earthquakes in Haiti were.
I thought that there was a recent earthquake, like within 2019, 2020.
There has been. There's been quite.
So when she talked about that, I thought it was of that earthquake. But this says 2010 on the invitation or the. So that I was like, oh wow, that's a while ago. That's like 11 years.
Yeah, I think that.
Don't worry about it. I just thought if you remembered, you'd find it.
No, I think a loss like that is something. It doesn't matter how much time passes; it feels so fresh because it's your brother and your nieces.
Mm-hmm.
That's too much. That's too much for one person to bear. I don't think I could bear that.
I know people have to bear different things in their lives, and it's I don't know. Like I have this weird belief that you kind of like when you're born, you kind of choose the things you'll bear, and like life is about navigating those things and learning to facilitate them. That's just a weird thought of mine, like if there is like a life where you get to choose what life you have, like maybe you're like some spirit. And it's all like, well, if you choose this life, this will be the trials and tribulations that you have to go through. Are you willing to participate in that? And
before your spirit enters the body.
Your dad's sperm, yeah.
Okay. That sounds like a good movie, Xchel. You should write that. You should definitely write that. I would watch it.
You'd watch anything I make. I'd be like, look, I'm
your biggest fan, Alpha. I used to sing Paparazzi to Xchel. When we first met, it was like the hot song. I was like, I'm your biggest fan. I'll follow you until you love me, Papa.
Well, we had that roller skating birthday that was Desi was here.
30th. Yeah. And you surprised me. You flew my friend here. You flew my friend to Arizona.
We made out on the dance floor.
We made out in a packed bar. Like, how embarrassing were we? We were so embarrassing. Can you imagine? We probably still would do that, but we were so embarrassing.
But it's not a bar anymore. It's it's just the Cirque du Soleil.
Cheesecake Factory. Now we stopped. Now we're sober. Well, I'm sober, but Xchel doesn't really drink. And we used to make out at bars and I'd be wasted. And now we make out at Cheesecake Factory sober.
And now we're sugar wasted.
Yes. So then we go to everybody's favorite housewife, Larsa. I mean, isn't she everyone's favorite? I don't think she's everyone's favorite. Note the
That's why she wasn't in this episode a lot.
Is she even on the show? Like, there's so many points that like Larsa can't be here. Larsa's trying to hawk her jewelry.
Yeah, there was a point when she was doing her makeup where you could actually see her real skin, and it was really different than like what she puts out. Like with this, the makeup is just crazy. I don't know what kind she uses. But.
What's different about it? Like it's
like this is like her in all makeup, right? But like you don't really get to see like what her face looks like, and so like there was a point when they were putting on the makeup in the scene, like you could actually see like her face, like they were just blending it in, but it wasn't there yet. So it was really cool.
Makeup can transform you. It's amazing.
It really can. Like it can make younger people look older and older people look younger. That's amazing.
Not everyone gets to wake up next to a natural beauty like you do, Xchel.
Yeah, I know. All snoring and a little saliva coming out the side.
And with one leg over you, taking all your heat. Or giving all the heat. Yep. Shooting in your sleep. Just a sexy babe I am. Sexy babe. So this is her doing a photo shoot for her jewelry line. And she's got her poor daughter there. Her daughter's tired. She's like, I'm 12. I just want to live a life.
She said she does all the designs herself. Do you think that's real or do you think that's fake?
I hope so. I hope it's real. Hey, Busy. I was talking to Busy before we went live.
You were?
He's at a cabin with his buddies having the time of his life.
Oh, how fun.
He's living. He called me from the hot tub today. I was like, I was in the hot tub the day before, and then Xchel joined me when I was an hour in. I was watching Euphoria. It was awesome. I love sitting in the hot tub and yes, because I was so into Euphoria. I'm trying to get through season 1 because Ina was like, you have to watch the show. It's amazing because we got HBO Max now. So I was like, okay. Mm-hmm. And it's so good, you guys. Oh my God. Euphoria.
Well, I think you were more scared that someone was going to walk in on you watching it and there's like dicks on it. So you're like, no, dicks. This is the show. It's a shit. As I'm not watching porno, it's a show.
For real. We live by a lot of elderly people. I've never seen so many dicks in my life until I started watching Euphoria. And I have lived 41 years on this earth.
Yeah, that would be hard to be cast for Euphoria because they'd be like, "You're gonna have to show your wiener," and I'm like, ugh.
And there's a micro wiener guy that got cast for his micro wiener, and he rubs it with like one finger. It's so crazy.
Yeah, it is.
But it's
crazy,
a really good show.
You like it because of the micro wiener, or
yes?
Okay,
No, because the acting is amazing. I think the writing is great.
Yeah,
not
the
the
guy with
first
the
season
micro
yet.
wiener. I was like, wow, you could really believe he has a micro wiener. Yep.
I was talking about you. I've been talking about Euphoria with everyone I can. So Busy had told me that Andrew Gabor wants to talk Euphoria. So I'm about to, and Busy doesn't watch it. So I'm about to hit up Andrew Gabor and be like, I'll talk about it with you because I need someone to talk about Euphoria with. Call Ina, get Andrew.
Talk to Ina about it. Be like, yo.
I know. I'm gonna make her talk to me about it because it's so
you're
good.
gonna make people.
I know. I can't make anybody do anything, but you know what I mean.
Oh
when
my
I say
God,
make, I mean beg. So here she goes, doing her QVC infomercial for her jewelry. No, I'm sure her jewelry's nice. Do I think she designs it? I don't know with any of these housewives. They write books with ghostwriters. It's like the Kyle Richards store. She's like, it's my designs. I curated it. Well, not really. You got it's other people's designs. It's blank by Kyle by whatever the designer is. So
got it.
It's just like a name thing.
It's so Hollywood, though. It's like you slap your name on something else that someone created so that you can put it out as your own.
Right. Everyone go to Andrew Gabor's channel and be like, you and Joleen have to talk.
What about me and Andrew Gabor? We could talk about stuff.
You don't even know who's Andrew Gabor. Who is he?
He's this really successful YouTuber / scientist who created the cure for the common cold. And
you know him.
Yeah, right.
That's so crazy. That's
exactly what Andrew Gabor I watch all the YouTube on my free time.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, we learned a little bit about her jewelry. It's boring, but it seems like that's why, she came back on the show was to, I got some jewelry to sell.
I got a
hocket. So then we get a night out with these two lovers, Nicole and Lisa.
And we find out Lisa's like, I'm spending all the money for girls' night.
Yeah, Lisa's like, I had to hang out with my kids for a whole afternoon. Jokes. She's tired. She's like, this is too much. This is too much.
I had to leave them back at home.
One of my 4 nannies called off today, and oh my God, one of the kids was like, "Mommy, give me a Kleenex." I was like, "I'm exhausted.
Yeah, get your own. I bought you several."
So they're gonna go out. She's talking about her dad's relationship because that's Nicole's storyline this year. Is this dad who we see at the end? Where I'm like, "Oh my God,
you look good."
Yeah. Her dad. Oh, when he was talking about procreating more, I was like, "Sir, your kids right now
from like the movies of just like big fat guy in a nice suit
with aviators on at night in a restaurant. I'm not drunk. Okay.
You're gonna get a commercial, so you gotta, Ooh, just so you guys know, we're not sponsored by the dog.
That dog is so cute, though. I've been sharing. Well, we can. Can you hear that?
Yeah, the sound's on. This is so professional, Joleen. Thank you.
I should have just taken screenshots, but I normally watch it on the computer, but I watched it in bed instead.
I think sometimes we just get tired. You gotta relax. You're always go, go, go,
Yeah, I like to stay busy.
Why? You're a great person. Relax.
I love you. Thank you. Aaron says Nicole's mom is so understanding. She really is, more than I would be about the dad. Like, she's laughing and stuff. Maybe she's just happy she no longer has to be with them.
I think
Lisa is like the every other weekend parent. DeMarie says.
I think her dad uses her to be like, hey, tell my daughter this. So he should be the one calling.
Yeah. I don't know. Now it's an Office commercial. Did you ever watch The Office in its entirety, Xchel?
No, I've never seen it. No.
Ever?
Probably saw an episode here and there, but I've never watched the entirety of it. No. I have this weird thing with comedy where it's like I can't watch other comedy when I'm doing comedy because then I feel like every idea that I come up with is something that I've seen before.
I feel that too. Or sometimes it's like, since it's your job kind of, or it was for a while, like what we did constantly before the pandemic, it was almost like being at work.
I for me, it would be like, oh, that's such a funny idea. And then like I would create a joke later and it would be the exact same idea. And I didn't want to I didn't want to do that.
Well, there's already so much parallel thinking when it comes to comedy and creativity in general that, yeah, you don't want something to sleep or sneak into your subconscious, and then you think, oh, that's my idea. And then someone's like, that's not your idea. That was on season 4 of The Office. You're like, shit.
Well, every idea has been done, right? I mean, the sitcoms have been around for like so long. This is the first floor of the $50,000 suite.
Okay. I think this is when Busy called because
Busy, did you distract my wife?
I don't remember this
from
part.
This show that we're supposed to watch together and understand fully? I didn't talk to somebody else while I was watching the show. I dedicated my 20 minutes of 2 times speed to the show.
I love that you watched it in 2 times
you were
speed.
distracted, and I had to witness this firsthand. It was very.
I love that you watched it in 2 times speed. Okay, so the ladies are arriving for Lisa's. I can't believe I had to hang out with my kids party. I can't believe it's not. I had to hang out with my kids.
Did it one day, and then she's like, "I gotta party it up."
Lisa, we kid. We know you're a fan of the show. We kid. Then we have Adriana. She's with her girlfriend Julia.
She got them PJs from London.
How much? I loved the PJs. I think the PJs probably each were like $300-$400 each.
Wow.
Are you gonna look it up?
Yeah,
those PJs were so cute. They looked like there's nothing like a fun girls' weekend with some matching PJs.
Really? Girls like to match and stuff like that?
I mean, I would. I don't really have girls' weekends like this. When I was younger and I drank, I feel like we would be like, let's go to Wisconsin Dells and get messed up, and never go into the water park.
Look, we have matching vomit stains. It's so great.
Pretty much. But this, I would like to do more once the Pannenkuchen is whatever it's going to be. I'd like to do more like girls' weekends with PJs and sleepovers and stuff.
You're just done hanging out with me? You'd be like, I spent the whole pandemic with that motherfucker. I need girls' weekends. No. You're treating me like Lisa with her kids.
I'm going to shove you full of sugar and then leave for the weekend.
You know what? I probably wouldn't even care if that was the case. Like, what's all this pizza doing here? I'm going to be distracted for the next 2 to 3 days.
You would love it. You'd be like, Rocket League and pizza. So this is when Gertie tells Nicole, I have to tell Alexia, but I haven't told her yet, that the venue she wants and sent me while I was planning my thing for my brother who passed and my nieces, I have to tell her that they can't do it. And Nicole's like, you didn't tell her yet? You're going to tell her now? She's like, yeah, I'm going to tell her now. She just found out earlier that day. I mean, jeez. And also, I think Gertie said she hasn't even given me a deposit as the wedding planner. So it didn't really seem like, they tried to make this very dramatic. This episode, in my opinion, was fun.
I think that was the highlight of the episode. Hey, girls, not going to make it. Yeah.
I want Larsa there. I want Larsa there more, though. I want to see what she brings to the table.
You don't think she brings anything right now? She's bringing like sexuality. She's like, you gotta embrace your sexuality. It's so great. That's her.
It's so great. That's why I love her. I want to see her. I was gonna say love her on the show. I'm like, do I love her on the show? I don't know yet. That's why I want to see her with the other ladies. If you can't go to every cast trip, I think you should get fired. This is a small season. I hate this shit. This happens on every franchise.
Larsa, get in here. Look, we like what you bring, but you're not going to the vacations that we pay for. You're out of here.
But that's part of that's showing up for work. You're getting paid for this shit.
Has there ever been a housewife that was fired within a season?
I'm sure, but I can't think of it right now. There's some that they edit out or cut, or friends of the show that they take out for stuff. But people get fired for not showing up. Mary Cosby's not coming back to Salt Lake City. Adrienne Maloof didn't go to a reunion. She didn't come back. Yeah, they didn't ask her back. Also, Up and Adam.
Fired her?
Andy fired her.
Andy fired her.
Bravo, whatever.
Bravo did.
But Up and Adam is doing an interview with Mary Cosby's mom and dad.
No way.
Yeah. And it's coming out 2 days still. Dang it. Well, yeah.
You're saying right after our show.
I know. I was like, I'm going to do a recap. So let me know if you want me to. And I'm going to do a recap of Up and Adam's interview because I want to break this shit down. I am so interested to hear. Mary Cosby's mom sounds like her. She kind of looks like her, which makes sense because they're mother-daughter, because me and Nana do too. But I can't wait to find out.
Isn't this the mom who was jealous that her mom picked Mary to be with
Allegedly.
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 Someone said Brandy was fired.
Yeah, I don't think she was fired mid-season. There's been lots of housewives who have been fired. Angie on Salt Lake City. Yeah, wasn't there was a girl that was supposed to be on it like full time, but then I think what'd she do again? Was she anti-vaxxer or something? I don't know.
Anti-vaxxers are getting fired like crazy.
Well, I mean, just I don't know.
We're also sponsored by butter on English toast.
This is the worst. Okay,
so butter on English toast, and
we don't need any more screenshots to talk about what happened. Okay, we know what happened. Okay.
I know it's an hour, so great job, everybody.
Xchel, if you leave, oh my gosh, no way, dude. Come back, cutie. Okay. So they have their girls' weekend, all right? So they're there and they're partying, they're having drinks, they're getting
like cabaret. It's like sexy.
Here's my thing, okay? Live performances, I don't care. Ladies, men too, but I see this happen more with ladies as a stand-up comedian. Xchel, you know what I'm going to say. You might be having the best weekend ever. You guys are drinking. You're having a great time. Bachelorette parties, I'm especially talking to you. Parties like this where all the women together, I'm talking to you. If you're at a live show, nobody wants to hear you. If you're not asked a question, don't talk. These ladies are being so loud during this little performance, but let me finish first. This little cabaret performance, and you're not the show. And I think when a bunch of women and men get together, you know, they tend to, we see it a lot with bachelorette parties where they're like, yes, I'm getting married. Nobody cares about you. There are other people there who paid for tickets. You're not the show.
Disagree with you in this instance because the cameras have them mic'd up. So maybe they weren't talking as loud as you thought because they were just catching what they said underneath their breath because they had to create content for the show.
Oh. Well, but do you know what happened? Do you want to know something that happened? I can see what you're saying, Xchel. Like, it doesn't sound as loud, but still, it just reminded me of that. Okay, so Ebony K. Williams, who was a new housewife on New York this year, she took the stage at a stand-up comedy show and took the mic.
She did? Was it filmed?
Yeah.
Was it for real?
And then afterwards, she tried to make excuses for it on Twitter, and then comedians started roasting her. Ebony K. Williams. Stand up. Okay. She went on stage. She was somewhere in New York. She's a New York City housewife. She didn't do the stand up. She went on stage at a comedy show, drunk, thinking she's important, and took it from a comedian. And so other comics were roasting her on Twitter because she was like, "It made the show better." And they always say that. Hecklers always say that you don't make the show better. You're ruining it for everybody.
Why would they do that?
But it's like, and she's also someone who, you know, is like a pundit and stuff and speaks. She wouldn't like someone coming up and interrupting her job like that. It's just the height of rudeness. So this reminded me of that.
It's basically like, oh, I'm on Bravo. I can do whatever you're talking about me. I do whatever I want, and then go up there, and then she expects everybody like, oh my God, that's that girl from Bravo. Woo!
Yeah. It was so crazy. And I love, there was this one comedian, I forget her name. She was just roasting her up just with facts though. And it was so awesome. Just why you don't do that. Why you don't disrespect someone. I mean, that is just so annoying. Yes. Ebony K. Williams stormed the stage at a comedy show 2 weeks ago in New York City after taking issue with comments made by the comic Sam Bloomstone. If you have issues with something a comedian says, don't go to their comedy show ever again. They don't need to hear from you after the show. They don't need to hear from you during the show. You just don't ever support them again if you don't like them. That's how the art form works. Comedy is like our last thing where we can actually like art form. Well, it's too late now because everyone's canceling everybody. But like, don't quit ruining it. You're not going to agree with everything someone says. It's also comedy. It's comedy. Because we had that recently with Dave Chappelle and stuff. And it's just like, but if we start here, then where does it stop when we silence everybody? Comedian wise. If he is a leader, if he is a public, you know, representative, you know, senator, you don't have to agree with him. Don't support him. That's just where I stand. Am I getting too on my soapbox?
No, I was watching the video while you were talking, and then I checked back in halfway through your thing, and I totally missed your point. So
that's okay. What did she say into the mic? Because it was a couple months ago that it happened.
Oh, basically called him a JC Penney bitch, and then you need to respect a black queen kind of thing. I think the hard part about this is there's no context, because maybe he was up there on stage being like,
if he was being racist or something.
Yeah, but I don't think that he was. I think a comedian like him has probably been doing it for 10 years.
Yeah.
I just think that she just felt it's again, it goes back to the idea of like when you're at someone's show, you think you have the right to go up on stage. It'd be like if I was watching Eric Clapton and I'd be like, yeah, and then I walk up on stage and I grab a guitar and I'm like, beep, 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 beep. You know, like but it's different because everyone can talk into a mic, you know. Not everybody can play guitar.
Everyone thinks they can do comedy. Believe me, you can't.
I mean, it can be. I'm not saying you can, but I do believe.
Go to an open mic. Go try an open mic.
I believe that people do think that everyone does comedy because, like, when you talk to your friends, you're just cracking jokes all the time. That's all you're doing. Like, even like at work, when you're with your work friends, you're like, "Look at that! You know, what if I just walked to the boss's office and just quit with my pants off? Wouldn't that be so funny?" And they're like, "Ha ha ha!" Yeah,
Jerry, that's hilarious.
And even when you're with your friends and sharing stories, it's like it's easy to tell jokes because you all know each other's personalities and you all know the stories of what happened behind them, you know. But like for an aspect of like doing actual stand-up comedy, you have to make yourself likable to a random audience, and I think you have to learn how to do that within.
Crafted into jokes, it's delivery, it's stage presence, it's so many things. It is an art form. Mocha Rain, thank you. Diana Lee coming through with the first super chat of the night. Joleen and Xchel,
you can have as many Christmas cheese as you want if you donate money to the show. I don't care. You're in the
right. Yes, we can't. If the best way to cancel a comedian you don't like is to just not support them. It's not to go after their livelihood. It's not to go say, you know, everyone needs to cancel Dave Chappelle. That's not the way to go about it. Just, you don't go to a show, you don't buy tickets, you don't watch his Netflix. Show it. That's how you show it in the numbers, because you're not going to like every comedian.
I think
every person.
Yeah, but the problem is there's like people who like comedians just because they're like, whoa, they're so edgy, you know, and it's just like they're not really. They're just saying things. Like, remember that guy that we saw in LA, and he would talk about what he would do to someone's grandma, and it was like real like sexual, and it was like he would wear like a leather jacket and like a leather.
Ruthless?
No.
Oh.
It was like a guy that like he had his bit, and every time he'd go do it somewhere, it was always about like saying the most edgiest things.
Was he an open micer, like at the Hooters?
I think he was at the first mic we ever went to where we were like so overloaded we had to go get something to eat.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Is he big, small, tall?
I think he's really well. I don't know. I don't know, but like sometimes I think like maybe some people get off on saying the like crazy thing in order to get laughs.
Oh yeah, there is that sort of comedy that's out there that where you're saying the thing that, you know, is forbidden, you know. So I don't know. There's just, it's so subjective, and it's just like the last art form. But now we're putting comedians on higher pedestals than we put our politicians and our representatives. That's the sad part, is we're expecting more from comedians than we are from the people who actually represent us. And so they're able to get away with damn near murder Mitch McConnell, but you know, everybody else in the entertainment business, they want to, and by entertainment I mean comedians, want to cancel. So it's just too much. Too much. If they offend you, if you don't like it, you have every right to not support it, not give it money. If you see me live, you're like, ick, Jolene's awful. Don't ever come to a Joleen show. Don't follow me. Don't do anything. You choose who you like. There's no reason to go out and ruin someone's life or livelihood because you don't like something that they said in a joke.
Finally, I don't have to do shows anymore. Thank you.
I mean, Andrew Dice Clay made a career out of being edgy and doing all that thing. Again, there was a time. Yeah. So then as comedy progressed, I think he did have his own show, like on
I mean, I even saw Bob Saget first time on Rodney Dangerfield's show, and his jokes were pretty dark. Like,
they were very dark.
One of them was like, "Hey, I just got married. We've been dating up to 7 years," and they'd be like, "Hey," and then like, "No, that's how old she is." You know, like.
I mean, comedy pushes boundaries, and it's not for everyone. And what some people joke about is not for everyone. And that's why you get to choose what you put your money into, what you put your time into in your watch hours. But this campaign to get people to, I don't know, it's just, they're comedians. I can see if it's like freaking, you know, if like, let's say AOC starts saying some cuckoo stuff, you're just like, AOC, wait a minute, that's not what we're supposed to be doing, you know, but it's, you know, I don't know. It's just like you're holding comedians to too high of a standard. So
yeah. Well, I think it's how the comedian turns out, right? Because I think so many people listen to him, then people think that they should be held at a higher standard, and then when that comes in, it's all like, I started with poop jokes, and now you want something more of me,
Yeah. Well, I think that's how it was with Dave Chappelle. Is I think now he's at such a level that people think he's so influential, that his words are so powerful that they want to kind of, but the scary thing is we should never put a comedian on that high of a pedestal. You should never put someone who's telling jokes higher than we put like people who are supposed to be like representing us. We vote into office, things like that. Unfortunately, the comedians tend to be better than the representatives in the Senate.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we live in a society where there's celebrity worship. I mean, this show, Real Housewives, it just speaks upon that, because it's like we hero worship these people that can afford more than we can, and we like love to talk about their life, and we love to talk about what they buy and what they wear. But in essence, it's just a person, and in no way should we ever.
They're not infallible.
No, they're not infallible, but in no way should we. I mean, it's hard to live in such a society where it's all like, oh, that guy, we have to listen to that guy, just because he's a rock star, or he does comedy, or he does this. It's like there is essentially kind of a loss for any kind of self-research, in the sense of like when we're researching our candidates, we're just being told to vote. And more people just look at that as like, well, that's enough for me. I'll vote for that guy because I kind of agree with this guy, right? Rather than just kind of taking the time to like look through these things and be like, this guy stands for this, which I don't like, so I'm not going to vote for him. So
yeah, I was just watching, I was reading, there's a new story out about Joss Whedon. You guys know I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And obviously a lot of stuff has went down in the press about Joss's bad behavior and him being like a fake feminist, and all these allegations that were done by, the actress from Wonder Woman. Is it Gal Gadot? What's her name?
Yeah, Gal Gadot.
Yeah. I feel so bad. I'm like, what is her name again? I should know. And then also the guy,
for a while, because she was like, oh my God, she's the Hollywood
she's 40
in her 40s. She's so hot, but she's 40.
Honestly, I think she was like 37 at the time, and they made such a big deal out of it.
They did really.
Yeah, it was like she's
no
young.
one thought Wonder Woman could be in her 30s.
And then the guy who played Cyborg, in the Marvel. Was it Marvel or DC? I'm so bad with the superhero stuff.
I thought about Joss Whedon.
So Joss Whedon, so they did a story, like they did a piece recently where he's kind of, after years of, people coming out and saying stuff about their behavior from him, and him being kind of like a cruel person on set, and things he said about women, and affairs he had with, people on set, and actresses at the time, and just him being overall not the greatest person. But it's again where Joss Whedon got put on such a pedestal, where it was this like worship, where people really were like, he is the end all be all. And again, he isn't. He's just a man who created an idea for a television show and had a whole team of people behind him that made it come to life and made it wonderful. It isn't just Joss Whedon. So finding out, it's hard to find out that your heroes, or the people that do work that you really respect, are actually not that great of people, or quite terrible. But let me tell you guys something you probably know now, being 2022. Most of the people you like in Hollywood, or you like their stuff, they're pretty horrible. And that's they say, never meet your heroes. Like it's good to be able to separate the art form than the person. But it was really interesting. I read the whole Joss Whedon thing. I would have liked to hear from anybody else rather than him at this point, because it seems like, in my opinion, after reading the article, which I think was in Vulture or New York or New York or something, that it doesn't seem that he's really changed. He seems to be, it's everyone else's fault, and all these allegations is another one of those situations where it's not true. It's not true. Well, why are all these people lying on you?
It's just hard, because I think like with him, he got this position because his parents were also TV writers. And so that's really hard. Yeah. But his
dad was a second generation. So he's a third generation television writer. So it's not like this guy.
I mean, he knew the secrets to writing good television because he'd been surrounded by it for so long,
Yeah, it's exactly right, Aaron. Entertainment is entertainment. Like, don't worship anyone you see on YouTube. Don't live by anything they say. You can really enjoy someone, but also always remember to look at it with a critical eye, because you're never going to 100% agree with anyone you follow. And also people can disappoint you.
Yeah. And it's hard when you're younger too, because, you know, when you're younger, you're really, what's the word? You're really
Naive.
Naive. I remember when it was two comedians, and it was that guy who got kicked off of that show. What was his name? He got kicked off of the HBO show.
Which HBO show and how long ago? I thought you were talking about Shane Gillis, who got kicked off SNL.
That show about, oh man, it's with Thomas Middleditch.
Forever Young. Fudge. What's his name? Not Tyler. He's got the curly hair. Starts with a T or something.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Forever Young. Thank you for the super sticker. What is his name? Not Kevin Spacey. There's too many dudes. There's too many problematic dudes. We could guess all night. Damn it.
I know. It's
Travis, Tyler, curly hair. He used to be like the overweight kind of, or he became the overweight dude. And he was in that HBO show.
Silicon Valley.
What was his name?
It had
None of these dudes have really gotten canceled for real life shit. TJ Miller. And TJ Miller
back when we started stand up, this is 2010, and Twitter was like this big thing, right? Mm-hmm. And everyone had a Twitter. I had a Twitter. I deleted it because I was like, I'm just writing jokes, and one of these days I'm going to lose my job because of a joke. So I deleted my Twitter. It doesn't exist. And they were dumb jokes. Like I got one joke that I used on stage once, which was like, hey, my nephew wanted to have a pirate theme party. So I hired a bunch of, there was a country that was dealing with pirates at the time. And I was like, I hired a bunch of whatever yins to come to his party. He was a crack. Anyways, at that time, TJ Miller had blasted out that guy. There's a famous stand-up comedian. And he was the huge thing, Dane Cook. He blasted out Dane Cook for doing a joke. Dane Cook was coming back. He had been gone for a long time. And he was doing some spots over at the Laugh Factory right off of Sunset. And TJ Miller wrote on a tweet, was all like, how dare Dane Cook do a joke about women in a way that is just weird and gross and this and that, right? And then all of a sudden, there was this giant split on Twitter of like people having TJ Miller's side and people having Dane Cook's side, right? And I remember, like, this is 2010. Like, I'm 25. I'm young. I'm like stupid at the same time. I remember tweeting TJ Miller like, "You are right. I believe what you said." Like, I was just agreeing with it because I was just like, "Oh yeah, what he did about women, I don't agree with," you know, and I have to show my agreement through my Twitter, you know. So I think like the reason that I bring this up is I think because people at a younger age are more
impressionable,
yeah.
Yes, a lot of people in the chat guessed it. You guys knew what he was trying to say. Haru knew it. Everybody knew it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, they're impressionable, and you want to. And Twitter was that thing where someone's idea would come. You go, yes, you're saying what I think I want to say, so I'm going to tell you thank you, and maybe share yours, and it still kind of is that.
And I think that's really interesting because like a lot of kids and younger people look to like songwriters, and it's like, oh, when you wrote that song about this experience is exactly how I felt, but I could never put the words to it. So it's like essentially, what you said.
Yeah. And unfortunately, sometimes the guys, you know, and I've talked about this as I cover Big Brother and as I look at it through like a feminist lens, some of the guys that it's like thou doth protest too much, like, and sometimes thou support too much. So any of these guys that are like, I'm such a feminist, I'm hardcore feminism, their actions actually are the exact opposite of helping us. And TJ Miller seems to be.
When I went to ASU, there was a big feminist movement. This was like in 2005, 2006, right around that time. And the women's studies department has started selling T-shirts in order to promote their department and to raise money for them. And the shirt said, "This is what a feminist looks like." Mm-hmm. So they sold that, you know, and like guys bought it and stuff like that.
Did you get one?
No, I never bought one. So, hey, I'm in the safe. I agree with whatever you're searching for equality. Yep, but I ain't gonna promote it.
You don't have to be performative about it. You have to go, look at me, I'm a guy. Because some of those guys just use that shit to get laid.
Oh, they do?
Oh my God. being a stand-up comedian, as long as I have Xchel, there's so many guys that are like, oh, it must be hard for you, you know, and you're just like, ew, are you using the hard what? Some dudes are gross, like gross. And it's some of these like Joss Whedon's who tend to be, because Joss Whedon's mom was a like a feminist. Was she a teacher? Was she something where she influenced a lot of women, looked up to her and stuff, and she was, you know, believed in all like feminist ideals and things. And so he said he was influenced by that in his writing of strong female characters, what we know or what we knew then and still know somewhat. I mean, some of the stuff's problematic, to be strong female characters. But that same woman who influenced him so much, now he's talking, well, it was hard to live in the shadow of or be raised by a woman so powerful or whatever. And you're like, okay, so first it's good that she was now it's her fault when you get in trouble. Please, dude, miss me.
But I think it is hard to be raised by a very powerful woman. I mean, my mom was superintendent of school district, so anytime we went out, people would like stop us from eating, and then they talk to her. So like for me, it was difficult because I always wanted my
like
mom's
celebrity,
attention.
but he, I think, was speaking in a different way, not like when you're out and you can't get time with your mom. Like your mom was always working and she was always recognizable.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think it's funny that he uses it to his benefit, but somehow it always falls back on a woman for why you're so shitty to women.
I think
Which
like
at 50
yeah.
some, you can't use that anymore. You could afford a lot of therapy, bro.
You could buy like 5 therapists. You could really could. I think a lot of the problem with like guys, the way that they flirt is like specifically like you said that guys use feminism in order to
Negative.
get laid.
Well, oh, they do. Okay, yes, I see what you're saying. Yep.
But
So
I think
like
that goes back to the. Let me just finish my thought and then I'll let you
sure.
respond. I think that goes to the fact that like I think guys are very pattern oriented. People are, you know, human beings are, and so once they start seeing a way that they can get something that they want, they'll start using it all the time. And I think that's the negative part about it. It's like if you keep doing something that worked like 5 times ago, it's going to come off as creepy and weird. Where at first, maybe the first time you did it, we're like, whoa, this is working. This is what I should do. Like constantly, I should totally tell women I'm all about their rights. And then once I get in their pants, I never talk to them again, you know? But I think that we're such creatures of habit that's why it feels so disingenuous, because then at a certain point, it just feels like you're just saying the words to say the words. And you're like,
performative. Yes. And I feel like Joss Whedon in this, I was like such a nerd reading this and I was screen grabbing. So let me just show you a couple or things that I was like, this is very strange when he said.
As you're doing that, do you think that when you write something, like you are one of the characters if you're the author of that world? So like,
I think so. I think
you think Joss Whedon was more, who do you think he was within those characters? Do you think he was Buffy?
In a way, yes, but I think there was a lot of parts of Xander probably that were him too. In the way that he talked to women and like his nerdy, because this was a guy who was a self-proclaimed kind of nerdy guy who didn't necessarily get the women until he found this kind of nerd personality and stuff. But yes, there's been other characters that he wrote, like a problematic one in Dollhouse that was in this article. I never watched Dollhouse with Eliza Dushku. No, it was a TV show. And he said that he related to one of the characters. And it's basically like, I think the premise is these women their memories and stuff are wiped and they basically become dolls rather than women that are there to please these wealthy men. So it's very problematic premise unless you write this really well. And I think it was canceled within 2 seasons because the network was like, Fox was like, where's this going? This is a little strange. Okay, so let me see if I can pull. Why can't I open this one? Let's just open up the same one over and over again. Okay. Like he was blaming Gal Gadot that English wasn't her first language, so the treatment she thought she received from him could have been because of that. I was like, really, Josh?
She heard, "Can I put my dick in you?" But what I said was, I wouldn't put my dick in you. There's totally different going on here. I'm not sexually harassing her. I'm sexually rejecting her. It's totally different.
People called him casually cruel.
That's all Hollywood, though. Like, I think here's my biggest issue with Hollywood. When you follow your dreams, right? You're like so happy and you're so open about your creativity. You're all about it because it's like, wow, I'm doing something that makes me happy, right?
Yep.
And then people see that and either they want to crush it or it's just like there's no way to let someone down easy when they're following their dreams, because it's like when you hear any type of critical feedback, whether it's warranted or not warranted, that depends on who's giving it, right? If Dave Chappelle gave me advice, I'd be like, whoa, cool, dude. But if some asshole that was yelling at a bar gave me advice, I'd be like, okay, dude, go choke on your vomit, get out of here, right? So
wow.
I mean, we've all been in that show where the dude won't shut up, right? It's like you have to slam him down like that. You have to get the crowd to be like, "Oh, burn! Oh my god, he told you to shut the fuck up."
Yeah, you have to, like a heckler.
Then they feel all small. They're like, "I'm not gonna choke on my vomit just to show him," But the idea here is that when people follow their dreams, right? It's like it's so freeing, but in the same sense, like you're so vulnerable in that moment that you really can be shut down completely. And I think that when people get this sense of power, especially in any way, I think that they want to hold on to that power as much as possible. And so they really bully people below them, just to make sure that they do not feel any different than they do. Whether that's someone who's pushed so hard that they didn't make it, but they're at some middle management level, right? Or someone that doesn't want that competition, because I think a lot of people see success as limited in the sense of it's the king of the mountain. And if you come from my spot, then I won't have it. So,
instead of seeing that it can, there's room for a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
And you don't have to protect it or sabotage someone else to get your success. I think you even see that in stand-up. You see that on YouTube. You see a lot of people that it didn't happen for them. Whatever happened is, and whatever you have looks like it did happen. So they're going to try to tear you down.
And once you make it at a certain level in Hollywood, all you do is try to fund the success of other people, because that funds your success. It's essentially just a pyramid scheme. I mean, look at Kevin Hart when he was doing Heart of the City. It was finding comedians that were funny so that he could put them on TV under his name.
What I do like about Kevin Hart is I feel like he provides kind of like a community of opportunities and understands that that's going to benefit him in the long run too. Like the same thing with Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler put on his friends, wrote parts for his friends regularly in the movies and stuff, because first of all, he wanted to help his friends out, but it helps him, because if you're working with people you like, you trust, and who you think are talented, it's only going to benefit your art form. So this whole keeping it close and trying to get other people to get out of it doesn't make any sense. So in this is where I thought was really effed up. So she says in this on this part of the article in Vulture, if you guys want to read about Joss Whedon, who created tons of shows, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Angel, Firefly, Dollhouse, also worked on the superhero movie, whatever it was called. Sorry, I know you guys put in the chat, I already forgot. But he's done lots of stuff, and he was praised for a really long time. And then people started speaking out to what it was really like. Like Sarah Michelle Gellar, Buffy the Vampire Slayer herself, said, "I will always be proud to be associated with Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but I do not want to be associated with Joss Whedon the rest of my life." Whoa. Michelle Trachtenberg, who played the younger sister, said there was an unsaid rule that she could not be, because she started the show when she was 14 and did it from 14 to 17, I think. She could not be alone in a room with him. Charisma Carpenter, who played Cordelia Chase, said that he regularly was very cruel to her, called her fat when she was pregnant. The way he wrote her off the show was just a travesty, where people wrote essays like The Assassination of Cordelia Chase. And then obviously Wonder Woman, Cyborg, like all those characters, they came out. A lot of people came out about this cruel culture. Writers did. He grabbed one of the costume designers, with Buffy. No, her arm so hard that it left prints in her arm. It's a time, I think, too, when people really didn't speak up about that kind of stuff. So once someone opens the door, people are like, I finally feel free. So there was he created, allegedly this abusive culture on sets that he worked on. But and then he also had these affairs that his wife at the time, when she found out after years and years of all these affairs, she did like an open letter to his fans, like, he's not the guy you think he is. So quick, because he had like a worship type fandom. So she wrote this thing, and so now he's coming clean a little bit about the affairs because they're already out there, but we don't know who they are. But there was 2 Buffy actresses that he had an affair with. But as the reporter says here, on our second day of interviews, I asked Whedon about his affairs on the set of Buffy. He looked worse than he had the day before. His eyes were faintly bloodshot. He hadn't slept well. I feel effing terrible about them, he said. When I pressed him on why, he noted it messes up the power dynamic, but he didn't expand on that thought. Instead, he quickly added that he had felt he had to sleep with them, that he was powerless to resist. The reporter said, I laughed, and he says, I'm not actually joking, he said. He had been surrounded by beautiful young women, the sort of women who had ignored him when he was younger, and he feared if he didn't have sex with them, he would always regret it. Looking back, he feels shame and horror, he said. I thought of something he had told me earlier, a vampire, he'd said, is the exalted outsider, a creature that feels like less than everybody else and also kind of more than everybody else. There's this insecurity and arrogance. They do a little dance. I thought that was such a interesting thing that I think a lot of these men, especially in Hollywood, who get power, who might have been losers and people who would probably be incels, then they get this power, and then all of a sudden it's like, I feel I had to. You had to. Yes. And then, that's taken out on, the women around them, and the power dynamic of you being the boss and being the showrunner of this hugely successful show, and you sleeping with people that work for you. Like, I don't think that kind of thing was really talked about until the last couple years and after Me Too, where that power dynamic is really effed up, and technically it can't be a fully consensual relationship. Mm-hmm. And how dangerous that is when you are the boss and you're sleeping with, people that report to you. It's really messed up. So, I mean, I don't know how we got here, but I like that we talk about this stuff because that was fun. And Renee was saying in the chat, now, Xchel, if you don't want to do this, do you want to do a second show with Joleen about tea? Will you do a second live show about current events? Maybe when this show's over, we'll think of Joleen and Xchel current event show. Yeah, when the Miami's over. But this episode of Miami was pretty lame.
It sucked.
And this has been a good season.
Drama. We want yelling. We want Peter punching Todd. And if we don't get that, we're going to find another show.
We're not watching anymore, okay? Peter punch Todd. Todd punch Peter. Here's a suggestion. Xchel and Joleen do an insider opinion show on these subjects regularly. I would love it. I love talking to my husband. He's so fun. I love hearing his point of view. We don't always go into it having the same point of view, so I always find that interesting to hear his perspective and then mine. So
yeah, but sometimes you're like, I can't believe you said that, and then I get punished for it.
How have you ever been punished?
One time you were like, hey, you got stuff in your teeth. And I was like, I feel punished.
Yeah, you're so silly. No, I enjoyed this. Thanks for letting us go off on tangents tonight, you guys. But there's just so many. And when I feel like you and I could just geek out talking about entertainment and comedy because we've had so many experiences with people and stuff that, we've been through and as a couple been through. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's hard. Going back to this idea of like you're following your dreams and you're so excited. I mean, there was one time I was waiting to talk to someone who was a picker. Like they would pick people, right? And it wasn't to be like, hey, what'd you think about me? It was just to introduce myself. And like, as I was waiting,
a networking gathering where you network and you're supposed to introduce yourself to.
And he saw me waiting in line. I was waiting until he finished the conversation because that's just being nice. You got to talk to this guy you really like. I just wanted to go and introduce myself. And right after he ended that conversation, the dude just walked away. And I was like, I wish I had the guts to be like, that's how you treat people of color. That's very interesting. You know, like,
yeah.
I wish, because he was
that
talking
white dude
yeah.
stayed around to talk to all the white dudes for like ever. And then
I hated it. But that's like,
Xchel was waiting there.
I know, but I'm putting myself out there, you know, like I don't want to talk to you, but I have to because I spent money to come to Atlanta to perform at these shows to meet people. So I'm stepping out of my comfort zone. At least just say hi. You know, the main organizer of the thing the year before, when I talked to him, he was cool about it. I mean, we had nothing to talk about at all. I remember telling him, yeah, I got to perform at the main club like 5 times in a row. It was awesome. He's like, well, that shouldn't have happened. And I'm all like, well, fuck, dude, just why did I bring that up? Oh,
the
it
guy
was
that organized it, that butthole?
The one with the hat. Yeah.
Oh, he's canceled now anyways. Jeff Singer.
I know, but like I was trying to communicate. It just doesn't always come out.
He's a Joss Whedon, a loser in a fedora who got to book just for laughs for years, and then it came out. Oh, I think it came out he was racist, right?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Yes, Jeff Singer's no longer the booker, that dorky fedora dickhead. Oh my God. He is the worst.
I don't tell my wife these stories because then she gets super defensive.
I do. Well, no, he would say stuff to women comedians I knew who were moms and stuff and be like, oh, you shouldn't be doing this. He never said that to the dudes that were dads. He would say it to the women. Jeff Singer, just for laughs.
How about when you were at the same festival and then the lady was all like, so there was a lady who was a booker for like some Midwest clubs or whatever.
Oh God, it was like
if you're a lady and you're gonna do my shows, you need to shower, you gotta wear skirts, something nice. You can't be showing up all disheveled. And then after the whole like that talk, we got to talk in the hallways, right? And Joleen was all like, that's some bullshit over there. And then the lady heard Joleen. And then Joleen talked to the club organizer, and she's like, I think we have a problem.
That lady talked to the club organizer because I spoke up during the thing because most people were willing to just like sit there. I mean, I get it, but there's a certain point where it's like, I'm too old for this shit. Like, I'm not going to sell out my like my morals so I can play at the Chuckle Fuck Hut, you know, in Omaha. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to sell my soul for that. And how sexist she was. And you women, you can't come in here looking scruffy. I was like, do you see how these stand-up dudes dress? Any way that's comfortable for us should be how we dress because we are constantly on the attack from our fellow male comedians, dudes in the crowd and stuff, ready to sexually harass us. Heaven forbid you be too sexy on stage. Then people always tell you the women will hate you and the guys will want to have sex with you. And you're just like, that's so much pressure for a woman who just wants to tell jokes. And then she's up there being like, you need to wear this and take showers. I was like, but all these loser stoner dudes up here telling jokes come up here, haven't showered in a month, but you're going to tell us women that we got to wear skirts?
The funkier they smell, the funnier they are. The funkier the smell, the funnier they are. I swear.
Stacey, thank you for the super chat. Love listening to you talk about anything. Aw, thank you, Stacey. So this guy, this dipshit. So he always had, I did auditions for him before, and he is just like, oh my God. Like, it just, this is stuff he would say to people, the feedback. You're like, how, were you ever funny? Did you ever do anything besides just like judge other people? Okay, cool.
That's what their job is, but that's what their job is. It's some people's job to judge. Then that's what his job was. I will judge who you are.
But he always wore a fedora and he made people feel so uncomfortable. And it's just like gross. And the stuff he would say to women that I heard from other women comics who are my friends who were moms, you know, just like, it's just the things he would say. And it seemed like he had, and that was true of the guy that ran that festival too. He said that about moms too. Like everyone has an opinion about a woman who's a mom. Like maybe you should wait till the kids get out of the home. Do you ever say that to a dude? Never once, not once. So
that's because they have a woman taking care of the kids at home, Joleen. God, you just don't get it. You just don't get it, Joleen.
He was always being problematic. He was just always being so weird and showing up. And he really liked the like younger female comedians. Like you could be a dude who was old and chubby bubby, but to be like one of his favored, he would want to hang out.
Put a picture of Michael Cox. Put a picture of Michael Cox up. That's the guy who walked away from me while I was waiting in line. And it wasn't like it was very obvious I was waiting to talk to him because he was only talking to one other guy and everybody else was dispersed across the room. I had said hi to everybody and I was going out of my comfort zone to say hi to him. I was like, I'm going to say hi to this guy. Where is this guy? Show him. Show him. Show his face.
Helen, thank you so much. Okay, but Jeff Singer, the influential talent booker behind Just for Laughs New Faces Showcase in Montreal, resigned from the Montreal-based comedy festival this weekend after an incident in which he repeatedly used the N-word in front of auditioning comics.
No.
You didn't hear about this, Xchel?
No, I didn't.
No, this happened like a year. Yeah, it happened June 6, 2021. This story came out, so it was around that time that it was like Jeff Singer exposed party, and he had to be like, oopsies. And I'm like, oh my God, you're racist on top of it, and you were the gatekeeper for this long. You're sexist, racist. Like, oh my God, sir.
Oh my God.
So on June 4th, comedian Mehran Kaghani posted to social media, I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name, about Singer recently using the N-word at a club show. He said he was just repeating. We heard that recently with Johnny Yates, that loser piece of shit. If you subscribe to him still, leave me alone, okay? Hashtag cancel John Yates.
Wait. I have to unsubscribe from him.
If you subscribe to John Yates, he's a piece of shit. And he'll come back in a month. He'll do the John Yates thing. He'll come back, cry. And then all the white lady hags and Heidi Black will say, well, he's sick. They're so worried about his sickness. His sickness is racism and misogyny and narcissism.
Finish your story about Jeff Singer.
Can't fix that. Okay. Cancel John Yates. Okay. So he used the N-word at a club show. He said he was just repeating verbatim the language of a POC he was talking to. They said in a post on both Facebook and Twitter. People tried to stop and educate him, and he just doubled and tripled down. Similar to John Yates. Why can't I say it? Keg, crack doesn't allow you to just be racist. Okay. So this comedian also alleged that at the JFL audition years earlier, Singer dismissed his comedy, telling him, I've seen gay before. This is how this dude talks. This is how this dude talks. When he would show up to Mermaid Comedy Hour at Hollywood Improv, I was like, oh God, I wanted to hit his fedora off his head. I was like, get out of here.
You can't do that. That's where he harnesses all his racial power.
I know. So the comic continued, this guy has, for the full span of my own career in comedy, gate kept a major showcase for talent in my industry. He doesn't see gays or women or people of color or any combination thereof in a progressive or even-handed way. He doesn't. He's a racist and a misogynist. Following this comedian's post, other comedians began to chime in about their own experiences with Singer over the years. And comedian Jen Kirkman, shout out to Jen Kirkman, we love her, tweeted a thread of anonymous claims of sexism against the booker. He's been at it for decades, and accusations of his sexism, homophobia, racism are many, she wrote. So they have this whole thread that you can still go to. That's crazy. So then he took to so then what did he say? He said
he apologized on Facebook.
He took to Facebook, because that's what old racists do, on June 6th to apologize for the incident in which he repeatedly used a racial slur and tripled down on it, to announce that he has resigned from Just for Laughs. And he resigned. Like, they should have fired his ass. I was at a comedy club having a conversation with some people.
Joleen, it's just like they say they resign, but I still think that they're behind the scenes. It's like they've developed so many relationships with those people. They're just behind the scenes. That's all.
I hate it. I hate it. It's
like, remember Jeffrey Epstein before he killed himself? Basically when they first caught him back in 2016, it was just a simple slap in the wrist.
No, he had already been to jail.
Yeah, right? It was just
way before that. And that's when Prince Andrew was like, but I have to stay at his house. I know he's a convicted pedo, but he's got a really nice place. And you're like, excuse me, Prince Andrew, who was just now stripped of his titles by the Queen. It's like, girl, your son's gross.
Remember that interview he had to give after this all came out? It was so embarrassing.
Oh, I should have covered that thing. That was a joke.
Oh, my
Prince
God.
Andrew is a joke. Some of these dudes are just disgusting. So he said he made a huge error in judgment. I was at a comic club having a conversation. I made a huge error in judgment, bro. I asked a question and repeated back a phrase that someone said. I mean, just seriously, get a life.
Someone else said it, so I could say it.
Yeah, that was John Yates. His defense too was that he said, I said it. I'm like, fine, and you will not, sir. John Yates just makes stuff up in his crack brain. He's just like, oh, I think Joleen said, no, you're not even following how the logic of the story is happening, probably because it's not a very logical story, that we have, you know, a weirdo that's just making up blatant lies and reading into parodies me and Busy do. But he's out. First, he said, Joleen said racist tweets. John Yates said that. And then he said that if I use the N-word, Busy would be okay with it. It's like,
no.
What are you talking about? What are you
All
talking
right.
about, you weirdo?
It's been an hour 45. I'm kind of.
You want to talk about Michael Cox now? Probably a good idea. We don't.
You want? Oh, okay. I don't care anymore. I'm tired.
Helen Johns, thank you for the super chat, you guys. They resign and then create an LLC and get hired as a consulting. You're right.
They have a relationship. They're not going to get rid of a guy. What are they going to do? Stop feeding him? They have like 5 people in there that like love the dude. That's why he's been working for them for like years. So.
Yep. Exactly. And we'll end with, we'll keep the hashtag all together, you guys, but it's picking up, I think, on Twitter and stuff. But I like hashtag stop the cycle. I think that's a good one.
Is that like the girl cycle?
Not like the period, child.
Oh, you said it.
It's beautiful. Do you want me to explain it to you? If I was ever with a man that thought the period was gross, it would not be good. Margot says, welcome, you guys pull back the curtain on the comedy scene. Super funny and interesting. We got stories for days. We might have to do a little special Joleen Xchel podcast on current events and comedy because we can always relate it back to something.
Yeah, Eileen, you're out of butter.
Oh my God, that would be it. We'll save that story for next time, you guys. Make sure you comment after the video post. Sorry we didn't talk too much about Miami, but it was really a boring episode. Hopefully next episode will be better. It was just basically
we want to see Peter and Todd fight.
Yeah.
Fisticuffs.
Alexia, I didn't get my location for my wedding. And then, Nicole's dad's like, I'm not drunk. You're clearly drunk, John Yates. Her dad's John Yates. Okay. So you guys, thank you so much. Make sure you leave a comment. Like I said, after this video drops, it helps us with the algorithm. So once it posts, I should say, I don't know why I'm saying drops. I think I'm so cool. And like it. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for you guys engaging in the live chat. Thank you, Xchel. You're the most handsome, fantastic husband I've ever met in my life.
You're just saying that because this is an hour and 45 in. And
you had fun. I saw hope in your eyes during this live.
Hell, that was around the 45-minute mark. That was like an hour ago.
Once we stopped talking housewives, you were on fire.
Yeah, because it was so boring.
Okay, well, catch us next time. Bye, everyone.
If you like what you